The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at TalkRealSolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of TalkRealSolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not TalkRealSolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
In the world.
In a world where there's crime, violence, murder, rape, theft, and all forms of atrocities that plague the world in which we live in today, what you're witnessing, we are living in a state of chaos, and it'll take a more extreme or chaos to restore the order in which the world we live in today. Welcome. Hey guys, what's good? This is Rain here. And today. Wait, let me get Chaos right here. Chaos, can you come here for a second?
Yes, Mr. Rain, how you doing? Today's stream, and I'm gonna pass the floor to Mr. Rain, but you know I'm Chaos Rain here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button of today's stream or podcast. Leave a comment and share the podcast. Sharing is caring. Also, you know, the links to follow Chaos Rain channel will be the following. You can follow Chaos Rain on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. Add Chaos Rain to Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And what else am I missing? Join the Rumble page of the Chaos Rain Show. It's titled C Rain 23. And I'm just looking at some things. Okay, Rumble's working good. And last but not least, join the Discord service of the Chaos Rain channel as well. And let me hear what's going on the playback. Make sure everything is loud and clear. Yeah, I mean loud and clear. Let me see if this thing's working. Hold on. Oh, I forgot. All right, now I should hear myself. Let's see how volume goes. Okay. It looks like it sounds good. So I can start doing what I'm doing. And I'm going to be testing the quality of the sound, audio playback. So before I begin, and like I said, y'all sit back and enjoy. You know, this is radio, this is media, as you see. Mr. Ring, can you come back in for a second?
Yes, I'm here. Okay. Everything is loud and clear. I can hear the playback very well.
All right, so it looks like the volume and all audio sound clear. So I had to talk very as clear and direct as possible. as my voice could hold up. Let's sing. Let's sing. You know, I kind of like this sound and playback. It makes me sound much louder. I just noticed this. I'm going to do this more often because this is the best quality sound. I tell people many times it's always good to invest in a nice switchboard, a sound card. That way you can hear yourself and hear yourself loud and clear. All right, so let us begin. How are we gonna play this? How are we gonna do this? Well, before I do anything, I have. Oh, I forgot one other thing.
Q&A session has started.
Okay, I'm going to read the introduction of a new book that I just got. That I might have mentioned. And this book is telling about interracialism and dating, online dating, by the book titled The Dating Divide, Race and Desire in the Era of Online Romance by Chelsea Vaughn Curtin and Jennifer H. Langquist and Ken Hu Lin. So she sounds Chinese, if I pronounce these ladies' names right. This won't be a very long stream. I'm just going to do the intro part of it. And eventually, if anybody wants to have any questions or concerns, you could call in. The call number is 717-908-1834. The access code is 917-324-pound. So, and let me go back and forth. Look, see, make sure everything is good. Oh, and like always, Rumble, if I could find the page on Rumble, please subscribe or follow me on Rumble. Oh, I got some views now. No followers yet. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, here we go. I'm going to post it in the chat room. Let's begin. And listen closely. Introduction. Dear Tender, guess who's coming to dinner? Guess who's coming to dinner? It's a brother. And they call quotidian racism or quotidian racism in the American tradition might be dependent upon economics and political relations, but is escaped under notice when such relations turn their attention to the procreative possibilities of our erotic lives. And this is by Sharon Holland, 2014. In the 1967 movie Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, a white woman brings home her black fiance to meet her unsuspecting but literally, or they call liberal-minded parents. Pause. Anti-miscegenation laws were struck down around the fall going on to the winter of 1967. Keep that in mind. Let's continue. Released just 5 or 50 years early, the Ku Klux Klan idolized film's Birth of a Nation, and just 6 months after what they call anti-miscegenation laws were struck down by the Supreme Court decision in Loving versus Virginia. The movie was as radical, provocative as it was acclaimed. Fast forward 50 years, and we must ask, is the topic of interracial dating noteworthy anymore? At least in popular cultures, interracial relationships feature across a multitude of celebrities, romance from Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And they are no longer rare in popular television shows and films. A remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner was released more recently to little notice or acclaim. Note to Hollywood producers when Sidney Poitier character is played by Ashton Kutcher, you know you lost some political edge. Yet, beyond Hollywood, interracial unions remain rare in the United States. When they do occur, they are far from universally accepted, often invoking deeply festering debates around gender, race, and sexuality. We decided to write this book because we want to understand why. And understand they will understand indeed. Next page. The social scientists and the internet and the social commentary, what it fosters, can open a window into what people are really thinking. Ahmad Easy. If incomplete anonymity, or what they call it, anonymity or anonymity and low consequence, people often reveal their innermost activist thoughts and beliefs, especially in moments when they are emotionally charged or under the influence of substance. Thus, the internet provides a powerful lens through which we might see how ordinary people think about sensitive issues such as race, gender, and sex. Their commentaries and comments show us how many people are still scandalized by interracial relationships. Among recent controversies, we can point to a 2013 Cheerios commercial in which General Mills featured what appears to be an interracial family enjoying their breakfast cereal. It was removed from YouTube because so many viewers were enraged by the depictions and so many racial slurs, punctuations that users comment below the video. Another advertisement, what they call curfew, arose around an Old Navy sale promoting in 2016. This spot's biracial families prompted a similar barrage of big, what they call bigot response on Twitter, with the Love Wins hashtag arising as a sort of counter protest. These spontaneous expressions of internet reasons are not isolated examples from symptoms of a long simmering problem, for lack of a better word. The rise, or more accurate, reactionary, or what they call react circulation of racist and xenophobia fears in the country has emerged in part in backlash to the Black Lives Matter movement and support of the making of America's great again era of political and personal expressions. Racial fears and empathy and the desire to police restrict ethno-racial boundaries are not relics of the past, but apparently indelible features of U.S. life. Intimate life often falls outside the realms of public attention because it is seen as a private affair and it seems on its face unremarkable. Indeed, intimate relations are the ones remaining areas of race relationships that, while having received particular intense scrutiny and regulations in the past, have become obscure from the public. In this book, we look at the ways race, gender, and desires come together in shaping people's private life in a society that has yet to fully acknowledge or remedies systematically racial oppression. Much of our research takes advantage of the specific platforms of online dating, drawing what they call anonymous data from millions of online interactions. So observe how US America reacts to others of different race when their actions are not under the watch of their friends and families. In combination with a separate sample of 77 and depict interviews with dates of various racial backgrounds and a multitude of archives and secondary sources, we show that interracial relationships are not nearly as humorous in 21st century US life as Hollywood might paint them. At the same time, our research also points to something optimism, optimistic. The under preceding axis, online dating offers people to find partners different from themselves, hold tremendous potential for change in a society that is otherwise still racially segregated. And they write about that. Online dating has created one of the few remaining public areas in U.S. society in which it is common to openly express racial preference and exclusion. Many daters who interviewed describe such preference as samples matter of attraction, something naturally and uncontrollably that presumably falls outside the realms of racial prejudice. As one white dater insists, just because you would want to date someone doesn't mean you're going to culturally express them. Hmm. But narratives about personal choice have long since obscured prejudice, fear, and desire for segregation. They elide the deep, pervasive impact of historically anti-miscegenation sanctions and oversight of the equality of contemporary societies. They glide past the deep threshold of racial marginalization, reflection in a encouraged by centuries of legislation and social practice. Despite what we may tell otherwise ourselves, may preference is never completely personal, nor is racial taste in romantic partners inconsequential. Racial dating preference may feel as though they are naturally and very accordingly to personal tastes, but these preferences, in fact, have predictable systematic patterns that reflect the shameful roots of racism in the United States. The book connects the evolution of online dating today to the invention of dating in the early 20th century, a new form of courtship that diminished families, states' control over intimate choice. This and the growing emphasis of individualism together paved the way for presenting or present day acceptance of racial discrimination in dating. as a form of courtship. They originated just as U.S. racial categories we know today were being solidified and regulated through law and everyday practice. Ironically, this means that the birth of individuals' preference and the modern motion of romance were deeply imprinted with racialized desires and and calculus. We integrate the presumption that such preferences are indeed personal and begin revealing them as the product of exclusionary social constructive that interlocks courtship, race, gender, and sexuality. I want to make sure I'm talking like that. While we situate the popularity of online dating within the evolution of racialized patterns or courtship, we also find that racial discrimination online has formed a distinct manifestation of racism. Even though deeply note in the past, the new form of racism interaction with fast evolving technology in ways that produce experience and consequence distinct from traditionalized racism. We built from the Patricia Hill Collins concept of new racism, which operates heavily with the propagation of harmful ideals and images of people of colors within the mass media, and though the politics of the past civil rights era. We also draw from Suma Beta works on digitizing private racism, defined as racialized injustice that trans- transpires in the private sphere of the internet, and Russia or Roger Benjamin works on the New York and New Jim Code, or the employ of new technology that reflects the reproduction existence of inequities, but that are promoting the perceived as more object or progressive than the discriminatory systems of a pervasive era or previous era. We argue that the contemporary context of neoliberalism, consumerism, and the rise of new digital technology gave rise of unique forms of digital sexual racism. One of the disguise endures racial discrimination and initiating or imitating life as nothing more than the idiosyncratic individual preference, idiosyncratism. These individuals' preference, in the meantime, massively and systematically segregate cyberspace, reinforce categories, thinking, and police digital self-presentation, all without the need of a person involved avoidance and confrontation. In fact, even though online dating has the potential to decentralize courtship, it has far failed to the promise. We illustrate how racial division are in the fact reproducing through and within the cyberspace context of online dating, just like how anti-miscegenation laws codify racial segregation or racial categorized through much of the 19th and 20th century. 21st century online dating apps and websites maintain the divide of ethnic categories and filtering mechanisms. The seemingly immense opportunities of these platforms demand an efficient search method that comes with constant categorizing of people based on markers and skin color, eyes, shapes, hair, texture, etc., 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 that are tied to social categories ascribing different race, gender, etc., and argued by Brandon Robinson This new racism allows users to filter or ignore entire groups of people on the basis of those markers, yet it remains invisible from the public eye. At the same time, the anonymity and immunity fosters aggressive forms of sexual racism that rarely occurs to face courtship market. We call this digitized sexual racism, a distinct form of new racism medicate or mediate through the impersonal and anonymous core context of online dating. While new technology promised their users greater personal freedom and argue that the promise is laden with racism and sexism that generalize, sympathize, exclusion, and alienation. The neoliberal language of individuals' choice is part and parcel of current digital technologies that have become so deeply ingrained in our lives that they amplify, reinforce, and rationalize oppressive social relations. Our analysis makes clear that race is the most important prediction of low or how white daters select whom to date more often than not. White daters ignore the overturning of racial and ethnic minorities. Daters with conventional, more desirable educational backgrounds, height, and body types, while being responsive to those without similar qualities but are white. Some racial and ethnic minorities daters develop a strategy to navigate that irrational, hostile dating world, while at other times they themselves internalize and reproduce the pervasive digital sexual racism that finding suggestions that as an online dating technology increase replace local and in-person markets, a romantic interaction, daters use these practice tools free from the social sanctions to even more effectively apprehendize their dating experience. All right. And let me stop for a second. Let me check what else is on here. Okay, we could stop right there for now. I'm gonna highlight that. This is the first chapter. No, an introduction is always the first chapter. So I hope to hear from y'all thoughts from that first section. And the first section, if I want to read back to what it is about, is the introduction stage. First chapter. Many more to come. Yeah, the introduction is pretty long. Yeah, I had to go through this introduction part. One more pages. I got 15 more pages. Unfortunately, I got 15 more pages. I might do this every Sunday and go through each section. Oh yeah. So I'll put a pin note here. Okay. Now, what else to talk about? Oh, to let everybody know, I've created a membership page on the Chaos Rain Show. If you go to the Chaos Rain Show, let me see if I can find the link to that. I know there's a link to the membership. Oh, I see somebody writing. What's good, Monica Lamb? And who else? The East Coast. Yes, I'm on the line alone tonight, Monica. If you want to call in, you can call in, and you want to discuss anything. And this is open mic. As you know, open mic is the title. I was just reading a little quick section from this book. So, yeah, the membership's on my page now. Let me see if I can find the membership. Let me see if I'm allowed to share a membership. Oh boy, I like this, man. I like it. I like it. Yeah. No, I could edit the badges, but that's pretty good. Man. And if anybody could understand the codes I use in regards to the badges and membership, I would like everybody to really figure it out. Let me see if I'm able to share the membership. I can't for some reason. Let me try it again. I guess that's linked to the channel and the memberships. Maybe if you click on it. Now, in regards to certain noticeable events, current events, mostly gossip. I think right now what's going on with politics. Word on the street is they came to a deal in regards to the debt ceiling. That's my check. And like I said, we're not getting the debt any lower. Debt's just getting higher and higher in America, in this country. So don't expect that any party, whether the Republicans or Democrats, are going to lower the debt ceiling. That's what I'm discovering. Now, in regards to the passing of the one they call Jackie O, my word and my thinking is this, and I might expound it on a future broadcast, that a lot of you ladies, black, non-black, but let's say for the black woman, especially, or if you're mixed, I please and I beg y'all ladies to stop going under the knife and get these these dangerous surgeries on your body. Stop getting the BBLs. Stop getting these tummy tucks. Please stop getting your bodies augmented, especially BBLs. It's getting ridiculous now. This fairly young mulatto, Miss Jackie O, which I did not know she was a mulatto until I watched another content creator gave more background story of her. She was raised by her black father. Her non-black mother walked off and left and pretty much abandoned the family. And didn't want to be a mother to not only her, but maybe other siblings that she has by her father. And that's unfortunate. And a lot of people don't understand that there is a slow rising of single fathers going to be raising their children by themselves, their sons and daughters, which nothing's wrong with that, you know? And let's be honest, she turned out to be pretty good. She doesn't have a 3 or 4 pass from what I'm hearing. She had long-term relationships with the few men that she has entertained. And the dude that she entertained that was the last was her husband. I think they're married. Yeah, I think they are legally married. Yes, they are. That she doesn't have a history of being out here in these streets. These streets. Because you know the streets be calling you, ladies. They be calling. But she was that woman that did not fell unto the temptation of these streets. So sad to say she lost her life. All right. Let me see if my mic's working. All right. I apologize, guys. I'm not sure when last thing y'all heard from me because, like I said. All right. Yes, it's working. All right. Yeah. For the answer your question, I had a channel for years now. As you know, if you have a Google account, you will have a YouTube channel, most likely. So I've been doing content now for a couple years now to answer your question, brother, in the chat room. So yeah, and I also have a membership too. Matter of fact, let me. No, it was not over, Monica. My connection went off. I'm back. I'm not sure what was said or what was lost, but I'll repeat myself. Oh, and thank y'all for that's watching, listening in. Make sure you hit the like button, share the stream, and subscribe to the Chaos Rain Show. I was saying to Miss Jackie O that lost her life going through what they call a mommy bod surgery. She was raised by her father, her black father, her non-black mother, I guess, walked off and left her, and her father was a single father, raising her and her other brothers and sisters. So one thing about her, don't seem like there's no real negative information about her. It's the only thing that was the baddest and the saddest thing that she lost her life just to improve on her body. And I'm gonna say it's and hope to beg enough women, especially the sisters, please stop getting these procedures. If you're not dedicated in regards to doing the exercise, doing the work, the second best thing you could do is to really have a stricter diet, because what you put in determines how much input / body weight you're gonna accumulate or maintain or over accumulate. That's the only way, and that's the simplest way to go about it. If you're not a person that's prone to doing the necessary exercise, meaning, maybe do a little 1 minute, 2 minute miles, jogging, doing weight lifting. I think calisthenics is another good form of exercise. If y'all try that, it'd be good. All these type of things around you to help better shape and tone your body. So the body needs to be put in rigorous stress to unfortunately maintain a decent shape. And if you're not a woman that's willing to put in that sweat equity, if you go under the knife, chances are something's gonna happen to you. And like I said, Miss Jackie O, if I look at her pictures, which I probably will do right now because I'm talking about her briefly to see what she really is working. Oh wow. Let me Google her up. Let me Google her. Jackie. Oh. All right, this is her. Let's see if she has she has an Instagram. Okay. Yeah, she got a lot of followers. I'm going through her pictures now because I never seen what this one would look like. And from the looks of these pictures, she is not a fat woman. I don't know why. I don't know why she went under the knife. I'm confused. I'm definitely confused. This woman does not look fat. Like fat. Let me scroll down, make sure. Yeah, I don't understand the procedure. Yeah, that's a bad call on her end. She should not gone for the procedure. Yeah, I'm not happy with this. I thought this one was like big. She's not big at all. She looks like she's average in weight and size. This is sad. Very sad. What a waste. Ladies, if you're not a big woman, even if you're big, you should always watch what you're doing. You're eating anyway, and adequate exercise will correct that. But to find this, and mind you, I didn't know she was mixed until further evidence. But now looking at her pictures, this is not a big woman. This is not even a fat woman. Yeah, her getting that procedure that didn't make no sense. Oh well. Anyways. If y'all guys want to call up, raise your hand, please. 717-908-1834, access code 917-324-pound. Just open mic. I'm just looking at things right now. I thought it was Gary. I watched Dr. Rashad Ricky story on her. She had 3 children. Yes, East Coast, she does have 3 children. But this is my thing, brother or bro. Usually when you have to go unknife, it should be only for serious reasons, whether you need to go in there to remove something or to fix something. And normally when I look at her overall face and body, she's not a fat woman. And me saying this because I'm just sitting there observing, and I'm thinking, and let's be honest. Usually when you're going for plastic surgery, let's say you lost the weight and you have excess of skin that's stretched all over your body. Then yeah, plastic surgery would be the next best route to correcting that. But overall, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, why did she went on the knife? What I'm seeing, I don't understand this. So it didn't make sense to me, personally. It did not make no sense to me. And I see Monica Lamb, she put her hand in her face. What, Mo? Mo called in. Mo. Yeah, this is not a big woman. For her to lose her life, it was pointless. Like I said, I'm looking at her IG for the first time, and I'm trying to understand what I'm looking at, this is nothing wrong with this woman. Now, mind you, the first thing that come to mind when I saw the image, I thought this was a normal Caucasian woman, most like because she is very fair skinned and she looked mostly majority white. But when there's further background of her, it makes sense that she is a product of interracialism. Her mother's white and Caucasian. I would say she could probably be Irish or Italian, maybe. Just guessing, not really English. And as far as pretty much African American, maybe, or it could be African or West Indian, but same thing. Yeah, because I'm looking at it, this is not a fat woman, not a fat woman at all. And if you look at her page carefully, it's mostly with her her pregnant image, pregnant page where she was mostly pregnant. But when she has a bit, see, if you give enough give enough actual real milk, that you'll start to drop weight a little fast. So yeah, I just don't understand the mommy bod makeover. It and I'm gonna say this. If you notice, Black China went under the knife the same way when she had her second child by Rob Kardashian. And trust me, the man spent almost 100 grand to fix her body. And how old was Black China at the time? Black China was no greater than, she was like in her early 20s. She was like 22. Let me see, 2011. She was born 1988, 20, 21, 20. Yeah, she's probably 23. So it didn't make no sense. And listen, ladies, if you're in your 20s and you don't have a history of being too fat or too big, and you look moderate, average in the body, or you might be slightly above average in your body, that means you got a nice, fine shape, the booty's popping and the chest is all firmed up, then you don't need no extra surgery besides do adequate exercise. I mean, diet will help, but if you do adequate exercise, you're good to go. But for Black China to get under knife at that age, which is ridiculous, because your body's not gonna tear up because you're still pretty much young. Usually, when people go through surgeries, they have to be like somewhere old, like in their late 30s at best, mid to late 30s. Well, if you're in your 20s and you just have children, your body is stretched back out nicely. Now, this depends if you're a health conscious person. If you're big all your life, then by all means, no matter what you do, if you have a child and you're already above average height and weight, then yeah, it's gonna stay with you and it's gonna show badly. But if you know to keep yourself, I mean, you're good. But as I'm looking, yeah, I do not see a fat woman. This woman's not fat. I don't see that what the big issue is. She should never have this procedure. And my issue with a lot of ladies, they get too influenced by social media. This is why they have the certain mindset they do in regards to doing certain things to their bodies, because they try to keep up with other ladies that go out and go to the DR or any other parts of the country to get these enormous behinds, BBLs. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. And her last birth was last year, July 26th. And if you look at most of all her pictures, this is not a fat, obese, or big woman. If she was trying to get toned down, she has to be very dedicated. And I think a lot of women today are not really willing to do the work. Yeah. So yeah. Well, I doubt that somebody said they're gonna try to seek legal prosecution of the doctor that did this to her. And I don't think the doctor's gonna do any time jail or get hit heavily, because let's be honest, these doctors, when they do these procedures, they make you sign off on a lot of things that people are not aware of. Once you sign off a lot of things, they actually protect themselves from getting sued or any other criminal acts that they have done to your body and you didn't made it back out here. So, this could be a hard case to fight. One other thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm probably going to stop and be done with today's stream. If y'all guys call in, I could probably stay up. But if not, I rest my case. The last thing I do want to talk about, since I'm up here talking about, is Travis trial. Travis J trial, I think that's his name. That he might do 10 to 20 years in the bid for deleting and injuring somebody in his home, and I think it's either in Florida, I think. Might be in Florida. Because his estranged so-called side piece, I can't say that is his girlfriend, because to come to find out, this woman, this no good beep, is, and she orchestrated the whole hit on her alleged side dude. Yes, for as clear as night, I'll tell you this, that was orchestrated. And not always orchestrated, this no good beep has the audacity to go look up, not only deleting the message that she sent to her brothers, but she looked up legally as she was going to be prosecuted or put in trouble for inciting or conspiring someone to lose their life. And how the trial's going right now, if people are following it, I would say if Travis doesn't get out of this without doing time in jail, I tell you when we have screw up legal system, which, let's be honest, the legal system was never fair and just to black men and women anyway. Let's keep real. But it's gonna be really messed up to find out that this man might potentially do time in jail for some nonsense. I don't know, man. I just don't like it. I just don't like it at all. It's giving me certain vibes personally that and it's funny how this has the audacity to play it off like she didn't know what the hell she was doing. Even to the point that she was still legally married to her actual husband. Imagine that. Imagine that. Sweetie, how dare you play hold on. I just saw some. Who joins? Wait, what's this? Wait, look like they got a new coach. Okay. Okay. All right, well, that looks good. All right, so let me go back. It said one particular basketball player is going to join the Celtics coach staff. Sorry about that. But like I said, this no good chick sitting here, not only still legally married to her husband, but she's out there playing the field and going out like she's single, trying to look for the next man. And trust me, this woman is a bum. She's a big bum. A big bum. And I'm going to tell you fellas, if you're making decent money, guys, any woman that tells you you're broke that shame language is dead in the water. I'm just keeping it real with you. They have nothing to stand on to tell you what you are and what you do with your own money. To the point where you say you're broke. Yeah, if the man was broke, you would not be entertaining him. But oh, you need him because you don't got nothing. So all that shaming language, all that nonsense, I tell you, dudes, just dead it. Don't nobody give it no attention. So I'm hoping that Travis comes out of this unscathed and doesn't do no time in jail. But we all know how the American judicial system works. It's very much it's problematic. That's all I gotta say. It's very problematic. All right, so hold on. All right, so I have nothing else to say about this, and that's almost I think almost the 1 hour mark. I think I'll end it here. Like always, guys, you missed this, catch the playback of the first section of the introduction of Dating Divide. I'm thinking of doing maybe more of this just for the precursor to a lot of things before I go into some rants or tantrums. Okay, I see one caller. Caller, I open your line now, and like always, if you can, watch the tone, watch the language. Actually, watch language. Besides tone's cool. Who am I speaking to?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Gary. Go ahead.
What's going on, Gary?
I'm good. What's up, man? What's good, JNYC?
I was hearing you a little bit. I couldn't make out what you were saying.
Okay. Well, I can't repeat it because I'm not sure how long you've been listening to the stream.
Well, you had cut off.
Okay.
And there was just silence for a minute, so I don't know.
Don't worry about it. This is timing. I know what you're talking about. It had some technical issues. Don't worry about that.
So you was mentioning about, but what I did here. Let's talk about what I did here. So I heard about the operations, right? About Jackie O, right?
Yeah. I heard about it. It's been making its rounds, and then, as you know, I kind of looked into what she really looks like and see what was the big fuss, and I move on from there. But go ahead. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about that case, but I know that there's a lot of women going down to these places to get these operations and upgrades or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, I just say that all that stirs from man. So as we talk about all these things, why these women are doing it, well, they're not all doing it for themselves only. There's women that do it for complex, but then there's women that do it purely because they want to be accepted or attractive or more attractive to a man. So I think that, why they do it for the most part has to do with men that have the obsession of, let's say, voluptuous sizes of body parts on women. You know what I'm saying? And there's been an obsession. It was weird though, because at one time it was, it was the white girls that was with the breast, right? They have flat backs, what they call flat backs, but they had everything was the chest, and they were scared of, or they was not. They didn't find in the public anyway a woman with some meat, attractive. So they wanted the model, this thin model look, that it was like not say anorexic, but it was like a stick figure type of thing. And, over time it changed. And now you have women, of all sizes, let's say, that are, being out there. And then you have this thing where now the industry that used to be obsessive over, slim women with big breasts is now turned into, not only big breasts, but big booty, shaving the waistline, all these different things, tummy tucks and all these things. But at the same time, it is I'll say, driven by men or male driven, wise or male influence. But I'm gonna say this other thing for those that don't know, that there are men now that are getting operations like that. So there was a
Such
guy
as
recently. It's not as often as the woman, but they are starting to do that. There was one guy. He was like they call him the male Ken. He was on that show. What is it? Botched. And Botched, for those that don't know, is a show that they show people that have had operations and they went wrong for the most part. So then you got these two doctors from Hollywood that they're they help repair or upgrade bodies. And so there was this one guy in particular, they call him the male Ken, and he had implants. So he had a chest implant. So what you think is like he had fake pecs, a fake six pack, and he had his ribs. There was like muscles that they were putting, fake muscles obviously, and they put it in parts of his body. They put them in his butt cheeks too. They put them in his face cheeks. They had he's had over certain amount of surgeries, but one of the main things that the man was doing that they were saying that was really odd was or very dangerous at the same time was these these implants that they consider muscle implants. And so the guy did it. He was on the show. You could find him, the male Ken. You could look him up on Google. And then what you do see though is that he went on with it. They consulted with him. They told him, listen, why you don't just work out? He was like, I don't got time to work out, and he's lazy. He wants to look good but not do the work to do it. Man, like about a year or two later after that, he died because he continued doing operations. So I don't know which procedure he had. I think, and they said it, that he was having some type of like a muscle, but a replacement of what would be a muscle, and it was implant. So again, let's say he installed a fake six pack, and that was an implant. The side rib cage, implant. The back pecs. He's installed even muscles, man. Like, when you make a muscle with your arm, he had an arm, his arms, they put...
all right. JJ, I don't
implant.
want to know them because
Well, I'm just giving you an example because if you want to talk about your subject matter, this is something that is connected to what happened. So, being that the
I would
Jackie
say,
O thing and anything, you know what I mean?
mhm, I would say this. And they also have these new surgeries now that they could put to make themselves taller, like break their like leg or some part of their
Right,
leg.
and stretching it, yes.
No, they have extenders. They put some extenders.
Yeah,
The point is this. This surgery thing is still a woman thing. Usually men, anytime a man has to really go on a knife, and we can go and might contemplate the data if it's even growing or whatever, that still men have to still work to get the bodies they need. You know what I'm saying? No man's not gonna sit there pay for anything, either if they got the money or not. And the reason why that is, Jay, is to prove on a man's body, it don't take much work. And we all know that most men, if we do not do what's necessary, if we're trying to get, let's say, a chick, then we don't get no chick. We sit there and just keep pushing. This society doesn't make it easy for men to sit there and say, we're going to shame people and we're going to get what we want. No, it don't work like that. Either we're going to put in the work or we don't get no results. That's how it works. Now, the men that do have money, Jay, they will cheat and buy the little plastic pegs, maybe cut their stomachs aside and have some fillers in there to make them have a six pack. They'll do that stuff. But as the male population, they're not gonna go all crazy, go on the knife like mad numbers. We sit there, we still entertain the gym. That's our thing. And we all know.
Would that change? Would that change in the future, going into the future where we're gonna be less?
I would say
working?
this.
Good.
I will say this. The men that's coming up under us now, that is, in my opinion, so feminized. Anything is possible, Jay. The one that's coming up now is a possibility. But anybody that's not born up till, I would say, no greater than 96, maybe 97, and then that's just the starting part of Gen Z. Anything is possible after this, you know? But usually, most people that were born at a certain era or decade, they're not going to be so Russian relinquent and say, God damn, today I'm going to go on knife and get me an actual six pack. I always die and dream of a six pack. And then you ask them, so you don't diet and do crunches and stuff? No, I'm lazy. I won't do that. Oh, I see. You're that type of person. Okay. Yeah. Good luck, buddy. See me how it works out.
No,
I'm not
I
saying.
mean,
Don't get
we do
me
more.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. It won't. I'm not saying it won't look good, but when a man gets to that place and contemplate where he does want to put no effort, it's a big red flag.
Well, a lot of men are doing that with steroids. So I mean, they do some type of workout, but you have men that are out there cheating.
We're talking about augmenting the whole body, meaning going, getting fillers, getting fat sucked, getting
It's
implants.
happening. It's a generation of people doing it now.
Listen, it's not happening where we're equal to the same amount of surgery like the ladies, Jay.
Oh, of course not. But best believe it's going to increase. It's going to increase.
Yeah, but anything that in life will increase depending on the generation we're talking about. But overall, how men get their bodies, they have to do the old-fashioned way. Diet and actual weightlifting and exercise. There's no shortcuts when it comes to men. You get me? And I'm glad you mentioned the steroids. Steroids have been around for the last century. And usually those people that try to get real bulk. But here's the consequence of using steroids. Even today, as dangerous as it is, besides it'll affect your lower ends, it's gonna affect other parts of your body. You get me? That's why you look at most that mess with steroids. They're doing that just to look good for the moment and really are trying to get like a serious outcome. Like they're trying to be known as for television or any other bigger labels that will spot them with their bodies and say, I'm gonna pay and give you advertisement promotion because your body looks good. You know? That's outcome men will expect if they're doing the steroid thing. Even including trying to get into like the professional league of sports. So, but it's not the same rate as the ladies. It's gonna be a long way to go, you know. And the reason why I mention this because I've been hearing too many stories now for the past year now. A lot of women are losing life on these box surgeries, and one of the worst surgeries they get right now that's very deadly is the BBLs. But we're not going to detail that. I covered this months ago, maybe on this channel or maybe another channel. Anyway, but like I said, it's sad that she lost her life. Very young woman. I looked at her pictures. She's not a fat woman. She got influenced through the social media and seeing what other women's bodies are and said she got to have it. And lo and behold, she decided to take the cheat way. The cheap way of it. It is what it is. I wish there was a better outcome, but I can't go more into that. Anything else, Jay? Because I'm about to cut this short.
No, I mean, I think that real quick, it's just that we'll see in timing how things, we hear 10 years from now, and just kind of update the temperature and see what's going on. I think we're going to have a lot more of these Kens or wannabe Barbie dolls, a lot of implanting going on because we have steroids, and I think steroids is a lot more used than what we know about or speak about because it's still a thing that many people use and, in different fields. So, it's going to be controversial, but I don't think we're going to even out to women and implants and all these operations. But I think we're going to get up there. We're probably going to be higher than the usual and the average because, again, not all population, but there's a certain amount in the population they're going to be lazy. They're going to say that they don't got nothing to do. It's just like somebody having a gastric bypass. There's a lot of people that are having a gastric bypass, not because they can't lose the weight, but because they're lazy to lose the weight. So they want to do a shortcut. So what they're doing the gastric bypass. And instead of working out and taking a months in time, and again, this is not everybody, because there's some people that need to do it because of medical issues and they can't work out. It's not going to work. But for the most part, most people, they can work out, exercise, lose weight, right? Guess what? Some people are taking that shortcut and they say they cut and they want to get the fat out. And I'm just saying, you have different populations, but I think we're going to have more and more of that where it's available or money can be spent to shortcut. Everybody likes a shortcut. Or not everybody, but most people like to get a shortcut. Cuts time, cuts a lot of things. Sometimes it's not always a good result, but I think that we are in the world of a lot of people try to cut corners. That's what I'm saying. Good show. Keep it going, Gary, and keeping the lights on.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, James. All right, guys, that will do it for today's stream. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions on the comment section. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Chaos Rain Show. Also, join and be a membership of the Chaos Rain Show. As you know, building up the memberships, there are going to be some, unique videos and probably special live streams. So look at the ideals, the perks, and you're going to enjoy the badges and the emojis of the Chaos Rain Show. So be a member now of the channel. And looking forward to seeing y'all. For the links to follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. Add me a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Follow me on Rumble, CRain23 on Rumble. And join the Discord servers of the Chaos Rain Show. These are all links. These are where you can find me and follow me on all social media platforms. That is it. Thank you for watching and listening to today's show. Until next time, take care and good night.